You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire youth wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leek.
Together we are
Rope
Break. Happy weekend, family, and also tomorrow's going to be Happy Labor Day. I hope that all of you are amazing. Yeah, it is. Oh, it's already Labor Day. So good morning, everybody, because, of course, these pay-per-views take forever. They're long as F. So, like, all out, Jean-Paul, we're going to be talking about all of this. And, a lot of debuts. AEW, pretty much, did everything they could to overshadow WWE. Are they in shambles? What did you think? CM Punk, Lucha Bros, all of that we're going to be talking about. But overall, Paul, thumbs up?
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, I think if you got to rate this with everything that happened, thumbs up, thumbs down, you got to give it a thumbs up. The thing that we remember the most is the last thing we saw, and the last 5-10 minutes of that show were extremely newsworthy. People said, like you said, WWE, I don't think they're capable of doing anything to top this. So maybe they're not trying to get better. Maybe they're trying, like we said, to sell the company. Yeah. We don't really know. That's a whole nother discussion. But AEW All Out, I would say, despite some things here and there, this was a good, solid pay-per-view. But like we always say, a little too long. We like 3 hours maximum, to beat a pay-per-view.
Around 4 or 5 hours. It was a little too long. But what is not long is every single one of you. Thank you so very much. We keep growing. We kept getting that love from you. Please keep doing so. Let us know. Join in the comments. We're live on Twitch. We're live here on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live everywhere. So join the conversation. Let us know what you guys like, what you guys dislike. Is a holiday weekend over here in the United States of America. So, hey, how about you just stop by and show some love? So, don't forget also, Paul, we did SmackDown on Friday. And, Finn Balor is they say that he's going to bring the demon for Roman Reigns. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, then I guess the demon is going to get buried, to the tribal chief, and we'll have to acknowledge him. But no, I mean, this was a pretty good match between Roman Reigns and Finn Balor. Obviously, Finn Balor was attacked, beat down before the match. We saw beat downs all throughout the show. Extreme Rules is coming up. So just kind of build towards that. But, a decent episode on SmackDown if you're being nice, but really not their best effort.
If you're being
exactly.
Really nice,
but go check out the our full review and thoughts.
Exactly, just go check the review, family. So Paul, let's start going over this show because there's a lot to talk about. So let's do the magic of Rope Break, and well, now we're not gonna go to that one. Let's go to this one a little better. There you go. We're gonna go to this one, might as well. But what do you think about the pre-show? The pre-show for me, of course, the buy-in, how they call it. I don't know if I like this. That was Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, Yuta, Jurassic Express against Matt Hardy and the whole group. Why do we even need this type of matches? You know what I mean? Nobody wants to see them. They're boring. They're not exciting.
This was stupid. I didn't care. Way too long. It's just to get these guys on the show to try to hype the people up. Even though you're there for 4 hours, just get on with the good shit. Don't give us this. This is I don't care.
That's like you said, this is just bad. We got to see Jungle Boy right there, and he was actually he got a good showing. I will say, he got a pretty decent showing, and in the end, the Jurassic Express get the win. And I don't know if I like this. You know what I mean? Is it really worth it? Do we really want to keep seeing this? I don't know. But we got to see also the Butcher, and he came back. He wanted to cut Orange Cassidy's hair, right? I'm
yeah, and that's what I thought. When the babyface won, I'm like, okay, maybe at least this stupid Matt Hardy feud is over. But then when the Butcher came back, attacked everybody, no, the feud's not over. Like you said, then this whole going after the hair, and we see these two groups are teaming up with each other. But then, Christian is also with Jurassic Express. So who's Jurassic Express with? Are they with the Best Friends? Or with Christian? This whole thing is just a mess.
It is a little. It's not what we really like to see, but I feel that that's what they had to offer for us, and I don't know if it was really good or not. But let's go to the next match, and that was going to be Miro going against Eddie Kingston, and that was for the TNT Championship. What did you think? Overall, I'm pretty sure they gave us a pretty good showing. Eddie Kingston looked good, and it was one of the best, I will say, opponents for Miro. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this was good, because Kingston, he's one of those guys. He's tough. He's a fighter. He's a brawler. Like they said, he's only ever submitted to Moxley or been submitted because, he just passed out or no, didn't they have another match where he tapped out or something? Anyway, don't matter. They said, he's tough as nails. We all know that. He was showing that against Miro. Miro put him in the game over, but he was able to get to the ropes. He fought out of it, all this stuff, fighting on the outside. Of course, they do that brawling style that Kingston likes, but in the ring, he can sell as well. It was all good. And then like you had in the picture there, they were in the corner, and pretty much he hit him, right in the. He kind of just like did like a kick there back to the
Did a
nuts.
Mashka kick. That was what it was. It was the
well,
Mashka
like
kick.
when they had like the ref was in the corner because the turnbuckle pad was off, and Eddie Kingston was going to send him into the turnbuckle. The ref's like, no, don't be bullshit. So Miro was blocking him. Boom, kick to the nuts. Then the big like a super kick, then the big Machka kick, and then pinned him 1, 2, 3. So it was a good match. The only thing is, I feel like they did a kind of like cheating ending because they still want to keep Kingston looking strong, but I feel like that hurts Miro a little bit. Miro should have just beat him, clean, no dirty tactics, but still a good match.
Oh no, yeah, like you said, regardless of that, like that was a pretty good showing. But like the one thing I like the shirt that Eddie Kingston kind of like redeemed these nuts or whatever. Yeah, like I guess that's a song by DMX, or I'm sorry, like I think it's DMX or something, because they were saying that like he was really a big fan of his, and that's why like they did that. So yeah, I think it was pretty good. I enjoyed that. So now let's go to the next one. Let's gonna go with John Moxley and Nagata. I don't know, like again, we saw this like already before, and I don't know if I liked it. Like it was just like that time that we watched that was for the United States Championship. So what did you think? It was the same match for me. There's the same stuff, uninteresting. So tell me.
I mean, I like this one a little bit more. They gave more time, and they actually, it was kind of like still the brawling style, but both these guys do that. But it wasn't like the garbage that Moxley normally does. It was just like the brawling, the fighting, all this. And it was, so I liked it, but it went a little too long, especially because there was, a match afterwards, so Kojima, he lost, and it's just like, that's kind of what we expected, but it was still a good match. He hit 2 paradigm shifts, for the good measure, 1, 2, 3. And then, what was it?
Suzuki.
Yeah, Suzuki. Yeah. Suzuki he came out. Yeah, they played his music and they dragged that way too long, showing Moxley's face, like way too long. So eventually he came out. And him and Moxley, and I mean, him coming out was the best part, because then, once they started going at it and started throwing the fake punches, because they're selling this guy, oh, he's so bad at, like, he's the, next Haku, right? And then he comes out and they're throwing like,
like he has like a lot of respect in New Japan, and like he's really.
But I just thought like when him and Moxley were fighting, it looked so fake. And then like the biting and all this stuff. But I mean, he's badass. I want to see him in a match, because just this fight, this was maybe a little awkward. I think in a match it'll be better. So, I'm excited to see this
in New Japan also.
Yeah.
They wanted to do this in New Japan because like I remember when he beat Lance Archer, that was at the next opponent. Suzuki, he's dating Meiko Satomura, so he's learning from the final boss. So I'm pretty sure that that's pretty legit. Stephen Logan says Suzuki was an amazing surprise, or not some surprise. Kaze ni Nare, that I think was like his finisher, the pile drivers. That's what he does. Very similar to what Diana Pereso does. Like he's really small, like short. That's what he does it. And then he says he's badass. He tap out Ken Shamrock. There you go. So if he did that, you see that like he's really badass. So like let's go to the next match. But like I said, back to just a little bit of John Moxley. Good showing, but again, it was the same stuff. We've seen it before. So like that's the only thing. But what was the original plan? We said this with you, Paul, in the Dynamite review. It was supposed to be Tanahashi. I'm sorry. It was supposed to be Tanahashi. So that's why I think that like it took away a little bit from Moxley. But now tell me a little bit about Britt Baker and Chris Statlander. You say you didn't like this match a lot. I think that was the best that they could have given us. Baker needs like a believable, credible opponent. And I think we had one that came out today, but Thunder Rosa probably a little bit offended about this.
Yeah, I mean, not to get ahead, we'll talk about the Battle Royal or Casino Battle Royal. But no, I mean, I don't think Chris Statlander is that, great of a wrestler. A couple botches here, some more noticeable than others. And, I mean, they keep giving Britt these opponents that aren't very good. It's like, okay, here's Nyla Rose, here's, Chris Statlander. It's like, you feel bad for her. Now she's finally going to get a credible opponent. But no, I didn't care for this match. And then Orange Cassidy, I don't know what kind of story that was supposed to be, where he's all fired up. He's like, come on. I'm like, is this like his girlfriend? Like what's going on? I don't get this. To me, not very good. I mean, I like the ending. We saw the Pittsburgh Sunrise, which was some foreshadowing to what we were going to see at the end of the show.
That's right.
And then she got the lockjaw and eventually won. I mean, it was all right, but I mean, it definitely wasn't her best match, and it's not one anyone's going to go back and rewatch. So.
Yeah, no, like you said, it's not like what we wanted to see, but like in the end, again, like we need like a credible opponent. I mean, What we're gonna see in a little bit is probably like what it should have gone, from the beginning. Like a Thunder Rosa would have been a lot better. Also, they don't have a lot of women. Like in the Battle Royal, like how they left that quickly, that tells you that they did not have a lot of credible opponents for her. But now let's go to like the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks, like the cage match. This was absolutely amazing, and see like a lot of the entrances were like really, really cool. A lot of like Latino music right there. A lot of people love this, and I think that like what the match that they gave us, it was absolutely outstanding. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, for this kind of match, is it my favorite type of match? No, but did I still enjoy this? Yeah, it was good. There was a couple hokey spots, like when they were all just doing the super kicks to each other, just standing there. It's like it just reminded me of like elementary school kids, like all kicking each other in the nuts, like it was just like kind of stupid and goofy. But I mean, just like the spots that they were doing and stuff was good. I mean, another like kind of goofy one is when Phoenix, this is kind of towards the end, not to skip ahead, but when Phoenix did the crossbody off the top and took out all three men, and the Young Bucks sold it, but Penta didn't. Penta jumped right up. It was like yee yee. But yeah, I mean, then we saw Brandon Cutler, like you had in the picture, with the shoe with the spikes on it, kicked Penta in the face. That's why he was all bloody in the face and everything. And he protected Ray Phoenix, the older brother. I mean, this match was really good. It went on really long. There was a lot of times where, they thought they were going to win. I think they hit not the BTE trigger or the Meltzer driver. More bang for your buck. They hit that, I think, on Penta, and then Phoenix broke it up.
Double like knee. Yeah, they did. Double knee strike. They did do that. Yes. Yeah, they did it. But like you said, it was really good though. It's one of those matches that I think that, like, for example, AEW does care about tag team wrestling. Like is actually long. They tell you a story, and these are the two founding teams in AEW, meaning like they were there from the beginning, and it's finally that feud that they had is finally kind of getting to a culmination. This is like a great spot, don't you? Like a super like Canadian Destroyer. Like these guys at least go all the way in, and I like that. It's you gotta appreciate what they do, because you don't see matches like this in WWE. Meaning like that they let the tag team go this route.
No.
So I like it. And Stephen Logan says, PGW callback with the shoe kick.
PWG Pro Wrestling.
PWG callback with the shoe kick. And yeah, I mean that spot, I mean a lot of people don't, probably they can say, oh, we don't like it and all of that, but it was good regardless. And in the end, like you got to see this, like the Young Bucks tried, and your Penta was like really bloody too. So that was really cool. Like, I mean, like, for example, would you say that this was a 5-star match, or like was this your first, like, your favorite match of the night, or no?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say it was my favorite match. I mean, I definitely liked the winners. It was great to see the Lucha Bros win, and I really didn't know that they were. I mean, obviously, like, not new ahead of time, but as you're watching the match, sometimes you can tell. And I was thinking, I could see the Bucks getting this one by, especially when the shoe gimmick came in and they were cheating. I'm like, oh, here we go again. But
yeah, that's the part that, like, you can see, like, when like Ray Phoenix like hit him with the shoe. That was like different, and yeah, but like you said, it was cool. And then
I mean, this was it your favorite match?
Yeah, and it's kind of like weird, but like it's because it was just intense, and also like because there was like a variety of, like you said, nobody knew who was going to win. There was a lot of like people saying that there was going to be a title switch and there was going to be this title. And to me, the fact that like the Bucks gave them to the Lucha Bros is something that we've been calling forever. Remember, like the Lucha Bros, when are they going to be champions? When are going to be, like, portrayed legit instead of being jobbed out all the time like they always do? No, the Lucha Bros finally are the AEW champions, so I'm happy. They deserve it. They deserve it, especially the entrance and all of that. So you see, like, for example, like we always mention Santos Escobar, when he has like this like wonderful like entrance and everything. So when they did that, I was like, oh, and especially when I saw Penta's kids, oh, that was great. Like the daughters, absolutely amazing. I was so happy. They deserve it. There you go. There's no more to say to that. What a wonderful, way to like just like keep going with this show. Let's see what like our family's saying. Like we have John Pataco. He said all fake. Okay, I guess he didn't like that. And Stephen Logan goes, I love a bleeding, violent Pentagon match. Cerro Miedo. Pentagon didn't look bad, Paul. We didn't see the Pentagon that like we're used to see on AEW, right?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of the teasing, but not too much. Playing to the crowd, but.
And exactly, and that's the stuff that like we appreciate. Let's go to like talk about like the Battle Royal, because this was like what's to say about this? You know, like we just saw a lot, like almost girls. We got to see Jade Cargill. We got to see
I mean,
also
the return of your girl Hikaru Shida, but she was having a feud with a new gimmick, Emi Sakura, the whole thing. So it's like, oh, there goes Shida, and now that's shit.
they don't want to help her out. Like I don't know what
and
it is, but like like the women's battle royal, like we had a lot of girls right there, and well, Julia Hart was not there. She was taken out by Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill. We got to see Tay Conti, Penelope Ford, Diamante, the Bunny, Big Swole. Like all of them got thrown out really quick. Also Red Velvet. But at least towards the end, we got to see like the Ruby Riot or Ruby Soho. like you said, Jim Ross called her Ruby Riot right away. I don't know what was that about. But, I feel that it was just to get her the win. Wouldn't you agree? Like it's just they did this because they knew they were going to sign her. And I don't know, will you have put Thunder Rosa over Ruby Riot? Because that's what people were really upset about.
No, and I mean, anybody who's upset to me is an idiot. And if you're also upset, sorry. But, I mean, because Thunder Rosa is the woman who's going to beat Britt Baker. If Thunder Rosa would win here, that would mean, Britt Baker's title reign is already over, which would be too soon. They're not going to do that. But, Ruby Soho is going to win this thing. She's going to have and for her and Thunder Rosa to have a nice little, couple minute match there at the end. And, Soho wins, that does great for her because it's like she beat Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa, a woman who has been portrayed legit on this program. So that pushes her. Obviously, she's a new number one contender, can feud with Baker and Statlander and, her crew over there. And, maybe she won't win, but it'll be the same thing like spoiler Darby Allin. You still go over, even when you lose.
Exactly. Is what you do. The things that you do is
because she's already in this match. She's presented better than she was her entire WWE run.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It is absolutely the truth. Let's see what like Steven says. Ruby got like a good reaction in Chicago. Ruby got a win on the debut. I mean, you had to, but Ruby's cool. She's deserving an opportunity out of like the Riot Squad. You will say she was like the best wrestler out of all.
Oh, definitely.
And and like I already saw like Liv Morgan was already reacting to her. Like everybody's happy because she deserves an opportunity. Now, are they going to use her properly? So that's the next question. Are they going to use her properly? Because
the one thing, and I think he will at some point. But the one thing is, once Tony Khan builds up a legit roster, then he can, if he becomes smart, he can be like, all right, now I'll trim the fat. Then he'll get rid of like, all right, the Bunnies and the Penelope Fords and all like the women that are garbage. He'll get rid of once he accumulates, especially like if an Ashley or Charlotte Flair comes over, okay.
Yes.
Oh, hey, Tessa Blanchard. Okay.
Yes,
come
exactly.
Here.
No,
you start bringing these legit people.
More attractive. Yeah.
Then you can get rid of them. Yeah. So I think all these women will be portrayed legit, because especially these ones that are actually good.
Tell me, Paul, the final fight, MJF versus Chris Jericho. The only reason that I don't like this is because this should have been the way that like we got the outcome at the fifth labor, right? That should have been how that should have taken place here. Should not be another match. Should not be like Jericho puts his career on the line. No, should have been MJF going over because that way MJF is automatically number one contender or automatically like the biggest star in AEW. It doesn't matter if CM Punk is there. It doesn't matter if like two more guys that debuted today because he beat the top guy in AEW. But they didn't do that. So for me, this became a little bit like, we've seen this again already. What, 4 times?
I mean, to me, it was all right. I mean, it won't be like, oh, this match sucked. This was awful, whatever. No, MJF's good. Him and Jericho have the chemistry in there. They're telling the story. Okay. It's good. But, then when MJF, he got the win, to just jump ahead, we got a lot to talk about here. When he got the win, Jericho had his foot on the ropes, Aubrey counted it. And I'm like, actually one thing too, I want to mention, because I don't know how you felt up to this point, but I really thought Jericho was going to lose. He comes, especially with his entrance, there's no lyrics. They're just playing the guitar to Judas, but there's no singing or anything. So it's like, okay, is he maybe he's going out the pasture here, this is the end. But then as the match is going, I'm still watching. I'm still thinking, MJF is going to win this thing. Maybe Jericho's going to take a couple months off or something, find out some way to weasel himself back in if he wants to wrestle again. But then when we saw that and he got the foot on the ropes, I'm like, this is done. Because either MJF is going to win legit, and then it's just going to be okay. There's going to be another match in a couple weeks, or they're going to restart it. And that's what they did, because Aubrey was like, oh, so then another ref came down, and he told her, then what's his name, Justin Roberts was like, oh, we got to restart it.
That's the first time I think that they restart a match on AEW. I think that's the first time that they restart something, because this never happened before. Like always,
I don't know,
they never care about the referees, but
yeah,
they didn't care about the decision.
And the one line on commentary really stuck out to me, because Tony Schiavone's like, well, what would this mean if MJF beats Chris Jericho? And then he's like, oh, if he beat Chris Jericho, not only would Jericho's career be over, but MJF would have to be looked at one of those guys who he's one of the next top guys here. Exactly. And he didn't go over.
And that's what I mean. And also, like, the one thing, and I want Steven, like, to also comment, everybody that is being with us, thank you so very much. The one thing is, like, for example, like, even JR said it. It's like they were so, like, partialized. So, like, they were actually rooting for Jericho. Because, like, oh, come on, Chris, don't die. No, do it. And even JR's like, I'm sorry that we're, like, sounding, not neutral at all. But, like, we hate MJF. I mean, why you have to bury the guy, or
because
no,
it buries him when he doesn't win. Because if MJF would have won this, then them saying, "Oh, we hate him," but he still wins. It's like in your face, exactly, and it's more heat. But
more heat, exactly. But and also, well, he tried with everything. He tried with the code breaker. He tried with like the moon soul, the lion soul. He tried
especially when Jericho got the offense early on when they restarted the match, but then MJF boom got him in the armbar. I'm like, oh, he's gonna tap out legit. He's gonna beat Jericho's gonna do something badass, and he's gonna put him over twice in one night. But no, of course not.
No, it's not. It's not gonna happen, right? I mean, in the end, Le Champion gets the win. Le Champion gets the win, and I mean, how do we feel about it? I think that it's how we were supposed to be, and we're gonna get there when we get there. But I don't know, like, what can you do with MJF now? See, that's the main thing. What do you do with MJF now that he's lost to Jericho, and he can lose? He misses another opportunity to be the top guy. Like, that's the one thing. Is he gonna get upset? And then we get to see this.
Because Wardlow came down in the match too, and then Hager. They really didn't get involved like too much or anything, but still, like you said, it almost feels like it's not over, but it is over. And the one guy who's not over is MJF.
And that sucks, because MJF deserves it. He needs it. And I mean, like you said, like, for example, Le Champion needs to go. It's fine, because he can just go like and do a tour with Fozzy. It's all good. And he said, Stephen Logan says, I only thought that Jericho would lose to go tour or do a storyline mass return. Yeah, like we thought the same thing. Remember, we said like maybe he's gonna go with Fozzy. Hey, he wants to do an album, whatever, and then he's gonna come back.
Yeah, exactly. Or like you said. Or like a masked return, he puts on a mask. It's like, oh, who's this mask, overweight, long-haired guy? Oh, it's Chris Jericho. Oh, legit. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, legit. And he goes, but I'm fine with like MJF losing. Who's joined for him regardless? He's always good because MJF is good. But like, here's the thing that I'm going to say: what if MJF is the first guy from AEW to go to WWE? Because
it would make sense.
That, like, he's been, oh yeah, you're going to be pushed to the top. Is your moment? Is your moment? No.
Unless FTR beats him to it.
Oh well, there you go. That's also the truth. So we'll see. I mean, but in the end, like a good showing. MJF is a pretty good wrestler. I mean, I don't think that MJF signifies or like we don't care about MJF as a wrestler. I think that we care about him more when he goes to like the promo work and all of that. Like, his main characteristic is not to be just a great wrestler. He's pretty good, but it's not what we look for him. Yeah. So that's what we have. Jericho wins. We still have Le Champion. He's not going anywhere. Let's go to the next one, Paul, and that's CM Punk against Darby Allin. Sting right there. What did you think overall? I feel that, like, out of a scale for 1 to 10, I'm going to give you like a 6.5, 7, just because it wasn't bad. CM Punk did not look out of tune. He looked okay. And, as he keeps having more matches, he's going to get even better. He's going to go back to being the CM Punk that we knew from before.
Yeah, to me, this was definitely I would say my favorite match of the night. Maybe next to the main event match or the tag team match, I would say this might have the slight edge because, obviously it had the most intrigue. It's the one I wanted to see the most. I thought it was least predictable because we can talk about it now. The spoilers were that CM Punk was going to put Darby Allin over. that wasn't the case. So that was, the spoilers were wrong for once, so that was good.
That's legit.
Yeah, that's legit. But no, I like this. CM Punk, maybe he's a little conscious. Now he's wearing pants instead of the normal, wrestling trunks. He doesn't want anybody to see the legs and stuff. But no, but I mean, it looked like he was almost a guy who just took off his shirt and was just wearing track pants and was just like going to fight somebody randomly. But I mean, this was good. They respected each other in the beginning. Darby was staring at him. CM Punk, sat down. But as soon as Darby got up, Punk got up. They were in each other's faces. This was good. Like you said, maybe a couple of times you could tell Darby was still breathing good and Punk was sucking air. Like, okay, kids, slow it down for me a little bit.
Yeah,
especially when they're
not legit. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, when they're doing some lockups and stuff. But this was good. No Sting. That made it good. But no, I mean, this match was fantastic. He hits the go to sleep. Darby rolls to the outside. It's like shit. And they mentioned that on commentary, that when he hit the second go to sleep to win this thing, they were like, it took 2 GTSs to beat Darby Allin.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's true. Like, this was great when he came out, like clovering time. That was like, that was for me going back to like what it was like 2011, 2010, 2012, 2013, all the way that when the CM Punk, everybody love him and all of that. So I really like this. And then like, go to sleep thing, really legit. Yeah. How can you not love this guy? A lot of people are saying that he sold out, that like he's not the voice of the voiceless and all of that. Hey, we wanted him back. He's back.
This is the only thing I'll say about CM Punk. He wouldn't be able to have, the matches with the guys he wants to have matches with and, be around fans that absolutely love him, that are allowed to cheer him and, in a place that he feels welcomed, not just by the fans and by the other wrestlers, but by the, the people who he works for, Tony Khan, the staff. In WWE, the fans would like him. I'm sure some guys there would like to work with him, but Triple H, Vince McMahon, all them would be that would be awful. Why would he go back there? For him to go back here, maybe he did sell out, but like everybody has a price, like the $1 Million Man says, and also, it's probably as soon as he came back, in his mind, he probably thought, man, I should have came back sooner.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because like the reaction, the feeling, exactly. That's probably what he felt from the moment that he just returned to like wrestling. And we got to see the show of respect with Sting too. So they always like I if this is the next feud though, I'm done.
No, I don't think so. I think it was all just like show respect.
Okay, yeah, I really hope that's because I don't want to see Sting against CM Punk, not against anybody. Like Logan. Let me see what Logan says. Was a good place to start with the crowd reactions. I was thinking how cool it was for Darby. He was a Punk fan. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Darby's like, for example, it could be a version of one of us that it was like a fan of CM Punk, and then you wanted to fight him, and and also like he shows up in a reality sex show, like in Darby. But like I don't know, all in all, truth, like Darby like did a pretty good showing, and he helped like CM Punk. So like I feel that was a good thing for him. So I enjoy this, and I feel that I think it was supposed to be that way. So in the end, another show of respect from like Darby Allin, and I think that this was actually the not my favorite match, but like for a lot of people was what it was supposed to be doing. Let's move to something that I don't know what was this place in the card in this given point of time, but I know maybe why. It was just because like they didn't have anything else, and that was the Big Show against QT Marshall. It was just like you said, like a lot of people.
Whoa. It's no more BS, Paul Wight. So this match was here, and it sucked, and we all knew it was going to suck. We all knew Agogo and Camarado were going to be out there. Maybe we'd see Billy Gunn since the Gun Club joined up with the Factory, but at the end of the day, nobody cared, and nobody would have cared if this match was Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect, because with the match that we just saw before this was CM Punk's first match in 7 years. People were exhausted. People had to pee. People were hungry. People were in this arena. They wanted to get up from their seats after just being glued and watching this match. And then they put this match on. This was the best booking decision of the night to put this match, here.
Though.
Nobody cared. Big Show won, big choke slam, done, whatever. Nobody cares.
I've learned to respect more of the bookers because of you, because you always used to say that is like everybody's juiced out, everybody's just done, and then if they put the main event right away, then it happens what happened with Jericho and Triple H of WrestleMania 18. So like it's like they're all done and they don't give two fucks about it. But like this, at least Big Show was a good transition, I guess. And I mean, he looks okay. What is the future for Big Show? Just have, I guess, putting guys over, or have like matches that he wants to have. I don't know. But
I think that's it. It's not a full-time career. I think it's just a lot of these guys that they see this in the ring, they see and they know that there's nobody micromanaging them. They tell them go out there and have a match. Like you said, AEW is the place that they're allowed to have the matches that they want to have. Yeah. So, Big Show can go out there because he knows he can still wrestle. So, he goes out there and has a match every now and again. That's all I think it's going to be.
And, like I said right there, Steven says, like, good placement despite it being a colder match. Exactly. It's like, you said it, Paul. It's like everybody, they were juiced out. We're completely, like, done with, like, because of the excitement with Punk. And then Steven says, Big Show versus Billy Gunn. I want to see that. Because I love Billy, but it's more like, I'm very biased into this. I love Billy. I would love to
what
see
did you say? What is this, like Raw 2006 or something?
No, Raw 2000. No, Raw 98.
No, yeah.
We're going all the way to like Roy's War. I mean, they're going to even go to Raw. It's Roy's War. But Paul, let's talk about like main event Kenny Omega against Christian Cage for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And of course, this was a pretty good. The one thing that maybe Christian like sometimes lacks for me is like the style that actually calls himself, and that's Captain Charisma. Because when he comes out, it is to me just like monotone. But despite that, like they gave me a pretty great match, but we knew that he was not going to win. So like, I guess that took away
Christian. Yeah, Christian has the same. He comes out. He has that like angry stare that he's like. He looks like your dad who's like pissed off at you. He might do like the thing where he's like looks to the crowd. All that stuff. But it's like you said, he doesn't come out. He's not fired up. Like Edge raises his hands and is all fired up. And so,
he's like talking to the crowd.
Yeah, like you said, Christian just comes out as like. It's like so,
And
but
I love Christian. I love Christian.
But I mean, no, this match was good, but and there's always a big but is why was they said and yeah, exactly. But and Jim Ross was trying to sell it. Oh, the ref doesn't want to see this match end in a DQ.
I know, and he says like good judgment from the ref.
Yeah, but like all stomping the chair over Christian's head. I know it's just that boom DQ. Done. Why was nothing like that? They set up the table, they try to do all these spots through the table, all this stuff, and it's like and also I did this shows how much I was paying attention on Dynamite. When you said Omega's hair was blue, I was like, I don't think it's blue. No, you were right, it's blue. And
yeah,
it's
it
like
was.
So that's your world champion, everybody. Blue hair. But
I love Kenny.
But I mean, this. But like I said, the spots with the chair and everything. I mean, not the chair. Excuse me, the table. That kind of took me out of it because the ref's not being serious. Nobody cares, and they're like, oh, it's senior referee, and he's not. Anyway, but
for example, if they know that that could be a spot that like everybody's going to be looking at, for example, like you that like are paying attention, why they do it? You know what I mean? Get away from it. Do something different.
When you don't need to, because it's not like the chairs that are. I don't know. I keep saying table. I don't know.
In the match. Exactly. If there's not a factor, change it. It's not supposed to be like that. Well, let's see what Steven says. Cage is a pretty entertaining, but I felt that way before. See, Steven, like Steven is pretty knowledgeable. He knows a whole ton of like the personalities of the wrestlers. Like he knows more in depth what they are as characters, or like as like regular people. So he knows that, and he says that Avalanche Angel finish made me stand up at home. Oh shit! Moment. That was great. What did you think about that?
That was. Yeah, I mean, it was badass, and it puts Christian over as that. It wouldn't just take a one-winged angel from the floor or from the mat. He had to go up top and send her to the mat. And Christian did hit the kill switch, and Omega kicked out. And as soon as he kicked, because when he hit it, for like a split second, I'm like, maybe he'll hold both belts for like maybe they're just like Elite is done. Maybe, they're just like, whatever. But I'm like, no, that would be stupid. Of course they're not. And of course, Omega kicked out. So then you knew it was over. And he did kind of try for an avalanche kill switch or super kill switch, whatever you want to try. He tried it, for up top. It didn't work out. Eventually, the super or avalanche one-winged angel. And, Omega won, which is the thing we all thought we were going to see. Nobody expected Christian to win. And then when we're watching it, of course, the Elite, they all come out. And then they start beating up Christian. So then
Yeah.
there's going to be an afterbirth. So you're like, okay, because we're waiting.
We were waiting for Brian.
Yeah, we're waiting for Daniel Bryan.
I was waiting for Brian Countdown from Europe.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
that was like the theme song in Ring of Honor. So I was like, we're living together. Like all of that legitness. But like he surprises everybody. I mean, I was like surprised because it's like, I mean, it sucks for WWE to have lost this guy. It completely sucks because he was like the future. That Paul used to say like he's like a brand new version of Shawn Michaels. We all knew the abilities of this guy, but could tell that like what happened to Bobby Fish and all of these things like made him bitter. And the main factor, my girlfriend works, on the other side. Why not join her? So Adam Cole is on AEW. Everybody. What did you think?
Yeah. I mean, when he came out, I was like, okay. It was like, is he going to attack them or is he going to, join up with them? Because we all know, we saw the skits, the being the elite. We all knew he was involved with them. And then you think, okay, is he going to help out Christian? And then he starts, didn't Jungle Boy and them come out too to help Christian?
Yes, Luchasaurus and all of them.
Yeah, so then I think it was Jungle Boy who was on the ground. Boom, boom, boom. He starts kicking Jungle Boy, kicking the shit out of him. And then, like, oh, okay, legit. He hugs all them. And then he Kenny Omega's like, oh, did I do that? Like Urkel. And I'm like, you're so fucking cringy. But then anyway, Adam Cole gets the mic, somebody who can actually cut a good promo. He's like, no, I don't know what you guys expected.
Story time with Adam Cole.
Yeah. He's like, this is the best group, in pro wrestling. So all the Undisputed Era's like, so, all the guys are like, so the other three, but he puts over the elite, says they're the best group. He joins them. I'm hoping for a long-term storyline. Whenever Omega drops the belt, Adam Cole kicks the shit out of Omega, and they're all like, Omega, you're trash, get out of here. And Cole takes over, and then, you do something else with Omega. But, this was good. And then, we saw it's like, okay, now what? Because pretty much the whole reason, the whole reason that Adam Cole
joined them. So
I was gonna say the whole story of why he came out was Omega's like, you see, I beat Christian. There's nobody can beat me, because anybody who could beat me either doesn't work here or isn't in wrestling anymore or is old and retired and dead and anything. Then Adam Cole's music hit. And it's like, haha, he's our friend. But then what happened?
And then like the riding of the Vikings, I think it's called.
The Valkyrie.
Like, I think it's Valkyrie. The Eva Valkyrie. Yeah, right there. Like, and actually he had like, and you know why he was able to use this? Because this song is actually free use for anybody. It's like one of those like really popular songs that like everybody has the right to use it. So that's why like he came out to that, because I was thinking like, is the final countdown? But like, no, they didn't do that for me. They never do. Thank you, like AEW or WWE. They never can give me the music I want, but like Bryan Danielson, we already knew. Like, it's fine. Yeah, we knew that he was going to be there. So they started attacking. He joined like Luchasaurus. He joined Christian. So now they're all a group and they're going to go feuding against the elite. So this is like the main picture that we have for you, family. This is how All Out, AEW All Out 2021 close, the show.
This is one thing I'll say. If you look at this picture, you have like two legit veterans who can still go. You have Jungle Boy who can't talk worth a shit, but he's a good wrestler. And then you have Luchasaurus. You know what I mean? Like you have like three guys who's like, okay, badass. And then Luchasaurus, who's like, a knockoff, version of Kane who's only like half as good.
Oh yeah, no, it's I don't know. Like for example,
is this how you would have debuted Daniel Bryan? I like him feuding against Omega, but then to immediately be like, you're with Christian and Jungle Boy and yeah.
I don't know. I will tell you, like, the big thing is, like I said, like, they use way too many star power for one show. So that's really, for me, you use a lot of the guys that you could say for, like, maybe, like, a show that you didn't have a lot of star power. Boom, that's where you hit that. Because you did is, like, you kept using, like, your big guns in everything. Because Ruby Riott, okay, for the girls, fine. Now, like, we knew Daniel Bryan. So like Adam Cole for the heels, okay, but like it's like two big names.
Yeah, and the one thing for me
overshadow Punk. It's like, I mean, they go toe to toe. He's like, you know what I mean? What the heck?
Yeah, the one thing for me is like you mentioned, at the end of the show, I don't think anybody even remembered Ruby Soho was on this show. You know what I mean? So it's like too many surprises. And then what else are they going to do? Obviously, they wanted to debut these guys, and Adam Cole was the big swerve. Because everybody, like you said, you were expecting Bryan, I was expecting Bryan. They played the music, and I'm like, that's not Rise of the Valkyrie, and then it's like, oh, here comes Adam Cole, and it's like, oh shit.
It should have been it should have been legit a shock.
Yeah. So I mean, I really don't know what they're gonna do from here going forward. But like we said, this kind of, whether it was the right way to do it or not, they did it, and it has all the wrestling world to buzz. And I think WWE, they're not trying to challenge at all. I think they're going, you know what, we're gonna just get this company down to the bare bones, and then if they're gonna sell it, they're gonna sell it, and then done.
Yeah,
so.
And Steven says, I like Luchasaurus, definitely influenced by Kane, and interestingly, they both have literature degrees. I mean, Luchasaurus is good. It's just like if they were portraying more serious, like, machine, somebody that is dominant, somebody that like goes through, instead of like just being like, oh, Jack Perry's like, yeah, he's my sidekick, he's way taller than me. He's probably way more like powerful than me, but like, he stays in the back. But like you said, going back to your point, is like, yeah, they are like bleeding WWE from like the bare bone, because like guys like Adam Cole, that's a big loss. Bryan, big loss also, because these guys were supposed to be in WWE forever. What the WWE did to them that they went to the other side. See, that's the thing. I will say for Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and and I mean, he wants to be with his buddies. He like loves the Elite, all of that. The one thing is like he's not gonna be the main dude anymore. He's gonna have to wait. And then he's gonna have to like prove himself one more time.
And who knows? They might have even told him, we don't have any plans for you on the main roster, and your run in here is done on NXT. Or it could have been something where they're like, oh, we want to move you up to the main roster, and he's like, oh, I don't want to go there. Vince isn't gonna push me, and they're like, well, we have nothing for you here in NXT, so it's either go to the main roster or
go to to the other side, and that's what I mean. So like that's the main thing, and WWE right now, I don't want to say it's in shambles, because that company has historically proved that they can build guys. But now is the time for them to really reconsider and be self-critical and be like, okay, we need to build guys. We need to like give Karen Cross an opportunity. We need to give Keith Lee an opportunity. We need to give Matt Riddle an opportunity. These guys need to be the forefront.
The only thing I'll say is the way that Disney, I think I've seen them operate with the way like they buy Star Wars and Marvel and all this stuff, is if Disney is the one to buy WWE, they won't want to lose to AEW. So we'll probably see better wrestling if they sell, because why would anybody buy a company and then want to lose to another company? Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. So, and I mentioned this with you before we went on air. Cole wanted that Twitch. He wanted to keep his channel. That was the main thing. And I mean, you know what? Why that little thing? Oh no, you're not allowed to keep it. Okay, I'm going to AEW. Like see how stupid you can be. That's what happens when you're not. That's what happens when you're not the only game in town. When WWE was the only company, people went, oh shit. So I guess I have to stay here. Exactly. And Adam Cole on AEW, we'll see. I mean, there's now is a lot of guys though. It's like the competition is huge. It would have been a lot easier to just go to the main roster and be the top guy. But I mean, he made that decision. We wish him luck, because he probably didn't. He probably didn't want to be Cesaro. Have one pay-per-view against Roman and done. And then again, yeah, exactly. Like and all of a sudden, then Seth Rollins and done. And then he's feuding with Baron Corbin. Yeah, and then you can give tons of examples of why they do it. Don't get mad at them for doing this. No. With Bryan also, like I mean, WrestleMania that this year and everything, but it's like I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do New Japan. Now we're gonna see him on New Japan. We're gonna see matches with guys that he wants to do. The one match with like the rematch with Adam Cole, that can be the first feud. And we didn't even see Andrade with Pac. Like, I mean, do we really care to see that after all of this? Probably not. But there's a lot of opportunities. There can be so many feuds. Now, the best booker in the business in Tony Khan has to show up and then use all that talent. And maybe that's why they have Rampage. That's why they have Dark. That's why they have Elevation. They have a ton of talent. Now is going to be time to trim that fat. But thank you so very much, family. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope that all of you. Thank you, Stephen Logan, a great friend of the house. Always great insight. Always great conversations with this guy. So I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. And also don't forget, where else can they find us? Follow us on the Original Rope Break on Facebook, the Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break. So thank you so very much, guys. Tomorrow, Monday Night Raw, and you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...